with a long-standing entrepreneur, but also a great political player of our country, a leading politician, currently is the leader for the APC. And Dr. Hassan Ayariga is a regular contributor to discussions right here on the platform, but also nationally. What have you been up to over the last couple of months, if not the last year?
Oh, it's been a very hectic month for me and the APC. We've been sending messages out there. And one of such messages is the billboard, the banners across Ghana. That is the message. In every corner in this country, we've placed the banner of APC and Hassan Ayariga. It's a message. The message is that it's the visibility of the party, the visibility of Hassan Ayariga and the presence of Hassan Ayariga in your community. So that in the next election, you shouldn't be scouting to know who Hassan Ayariga is, or action of APC, or scouting for a third force. The third force is out there with the portrait, with the banners of APC, and telling every Ghanaian that if you want to vote for leadership and hope that will transform your country and yourself as an individual and Ghana as a whole, this is the person who is presenting himself, the option of a third force, the option that no more NDC, no more MPP, and that going into the 2024, many Ghanaians have lost hope, and there's going to be huge voter apathy. Many are already telling us that they don't want to vote because they are tired of NDC, they are tired of MPP leadership. So they're looking for a third force. And they keep asking, third force, third force. But we are telling you, when you turn around, when you come out of your office, the poster on the wall is Hassan Ayariga. This is the third force you're asking for. When you come from the hospital, the poster is Hassan Ayariga. When you come from your house, the poster is Hassan Ayariga. Give this gentleman the opportunity to transform your country. I do not need to go on TV or radio before you see me. My visibility is enough for you to start making decisions. So when you now see me talk on TV, on radio, then you say, oh, this is the gentleman, Hassan Ayariga, that I saw his poster right in front of my house. Wow, let me listen to him. What policy does he have for Ghana? What is he bringing on board? So practically, what we are doing is a whole lot of job. Just imagining putting posters and banners in almost in every pole of Ghana. It's just like putting up a new ECG poles or electrical poles in this country. And that's a lot of time, a lot of resources, a lot of energy, a lot of commitment. And that's what we've been up to. And secondly, too, as we're doing that, concurrently, we are also doing the polling station executive election, 12 membership in all the polling stations in Ghana. And that is one big task, one huge activities that we're spending a lot of time and energy and resources there to have in every polling station, 12 membership each. And these members are going to be the party representatives at the polling station on the D-Day of election. Same time, they are going to be the people who report the results, monitor the results, coordinate the voting, coordinate the people there to make sure we don't get a minimum of 10 votes in each constituency, in each polling station. That alone, if you multiply 39,000 polling stations by 12 delegates, it's sending this country, this election into a runoff automatically.
You're a big contributor to the national politics of our country. What will be your own observation about how well the Kufuor-led government have performed over the last 7 years?
Over the last 7 years, we've experienced a lot of hardship, economic hardship, social hardship, political difficulties and disparities. Ghanaians have now come to the realization that the two parties are not the option. Look at where we are as a nation. Practically, let me use the economic terms. Our cedi is the worst performing currency in Africa, probably in the world. We're the highest country that have borrowed so far from IMF than any other country. We're the top, number one. Ghana is number one. Number two, our debt stock is 600 billion Ghana cedis. And the worst of it is that we have nothing to show for this borrowing. Number four, the prices of goods and services have gone so high above per capita income of a Ghanaian. Number six, the Ghanaian society are lacking jobs. The youth have no jobs. Economic situation is worsened by the hour. I can continue on and on. Number seven, our youth have now become so discouraged to the extent that they don't believe that they should vote for political parties anymore because there's no hope. And lack of leadership and opportunities for the youth has turned the Ghanaian young men and women, the youth of this country, to gamblers. Today, our youth have now, all of them are now gamblers. Even students in the universities are using their school fees to gamble. Teachers, nurses are now becoming gamblers by the day. So you ask yourself, this is where the Kufuor government has sent us to. It has turned Ghana to a nation of gamblers and lotus takers. Funny enough, they are endorsing it, okay, by even increasing taxes and taking taxes on gambling. But our constitution is against gambling. But they have endorsed it. So I can tell you, this country is sick. Ghana is sick. And Ghana is in the ICU, seriously intensive care. And the reason why Ghana is in intensive care is that nothing is working. And nobody is out there showing leadership. So what it means is that you are at the intensive care where there's no doctor. Because there's no leadership to assessment or perception. These are the indications. And let's go by the indications. That is what we have as an economy. And truly, it's for me and Ghanaians to know that the 2024 election is not about NDC, neither MPP. We have to change. Because if we want the economy to, both parties must be swept under the carpet. They must go. And that is why we are putting up all these hard work, banners, posters, bringing in. Look at the policies the APC has. Check the 2022 manifesto of the APC. And you will see that this economy, the solutions to bringing or changing this economy is in there.
I've interacted with you over the last 10, 15 years, and you always made mention of your experiences in Europe, particularly in Germany, etc., and even your current means of travel over the last couple of years. And you've always advocated for a national development plan for you and the APC. Why is the development plan very important for a country like Ghana?
Because those who were given leadership to were off the road. The promises they made with their manifestos were fat, juicy promises. They used that to lure the Ghanaian people into believing in their manifesto and voting. And then when they are voted to power, they change their ways and start giving excuses. So what it means is that our democracy has not matured to the extent that we should believe in manifestos of political parties. I hope you understand this, what I'm trying to. Our democracy has not matured to the extent that Ghanaians should trust the manifestos of political parties. So the reason why I said we should come out with a nation's manifesto, which is a national development plan, crafted, drafted, positioned, contributed by stakeholders, political leaders, academia, students, everybody in Ghana should bring in his view and position of it. And then we craft this national development plan that has to take effect for every 8 years. Should not be more than 8 years. A minimum of 10 years, not more than, maximum of 10 years. Because things keep changing over the period. And we are running a system of changes. It is only in Africa we don't change. But other countries, every year, you see a lot of changes happening. So we cannot draft it for the next more than 10 years. Because the next 10 years, we should sit down again and look at it again and change and do more things. See what we have achieved against our deficit as a nation. And then make sure we are able to close the gap between achievement and deficit of the manifesto. So for me, I still believe that the National Development Plan should substitute political manifestos. So you as a politician, bring your manifesto. What do you have for us? What do you think you can do for Ghana? You bring it, APC bring their own, NDC bring their own, MPP, all other parties. Then we insert it into the manifesto if we think it's something good for us. Now when you come to campaign, because it will now give Ghanaians, politicians, the bad politicians will run away from campaigning. They won't be able to lie to the people anymore, because this is a manifesto that is for Ghana. So because they use their manifesto to lie, now this is a separate manifesto that you have to tell the Ghanaian people how you intend to achieve it. That's all. It's no more, I'm going to do A, and then this is going to do B, and Hassan Ayariga is going to do C, or P, and APC is going to do C. No, this is the manifesto. So tell us, as a political party, when you come as president, how do you intend to achieve all this? That is the debate.
And I know that managing all the things you're talking about in terms of the last couple of years under the Kufuor-led government is Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. And you know, when you listen to him now, he says he's going to run amok with the result of the next election, the 2024 presidential elections, and that are also going to be swept alongside the parliamentary election as well. He says he's a man of his own. So how are you, the leading politicians, going to contest 2024, going to deal with the Bawumia factor? Because he's going to win, he says.
Vice President Bawumia is empty. Vice President Bawumia is empty. And I tell you, what is it that Bawumia has a message? Bawumia writes everywhere it's possible. What is possible? Breaking the aid, continuing to lie to Ghanaians, bringing our seed management team to where we are. It's possible. It's already possible. We are in the possibility. Or is Bawumia telling us that he's now going to become an economic messiah he wasn't 8 years ago? So the fact of the matter is that Bawumia should prepare himself before the media and only sit down, not talk, not give a lecture, not open his mouth, not say anything, and let the media question him about the things he has said the last 7 years. If he's able to come out of that, then he's a candidate that I should be afraid of. If only he can come out of that. Because he's lied for too long. He said many promises, juicy promises and manifestos we don't want to read again. Because if you keep reading the MPP manifesto and comparing it to Dr. Bawumia, you stop reading. Because it doesn't make sense. All our lies, never achieved. He keeps talking about digitalization. Who speaks about digitalization in an economy like this? If he doesn't know, you should go and look at the APC manifesto. Page 41, item 14. It is written there, e-commerce, e-governance. E-governance, digitalization is a minute section of e-governance. So if APC is talking about e-governance and you are talking about digitalization, then you are out of the box. I mean, nobody should take you serious. You're not even part of people who should be debating with. You're out. You don't even know what you are talking about. So Bawumia, I see Bawumia just to be, let me not use certain words because he's my big brother. I'll reserve that. There's more time for us to be able to scrutinize the MPP and Bawumia.
Just the last couple of weeks, we had the NPP convening their often constituency primaries for their parliamentary candidates, and a lot of money. It doesn't mean that the NDC also doesn't give out money, or the other parties, but we've seen a complete monetization of the political space. Are you worried? What's the remedy for that, in your opinion?
Thank you, Roland. Let me put this phrase out. We are voting for people with more money than more brains. We are voting, listen well, we are voting for leaders with more money than more brains. So if you are voting for leaders with more money than more brains, what it means is that you are practically destroying the country. Number two, NDC, NPP, all their platforms, all those who win on these platforms as a result of monetization of political victory. That is how they are able to win their seats. Now, we have turned this country upside down in terms of democracy. And that's why I say that we have not reached a stage where manifestoes. Are you with me? So for me, these parties are businessmen, group of businessmen who have put themselves together with resources to do business with Ghana. So they are running a business entity, a political business transaction with Ghana. So all those who have money group themselves in one platform called the MPP. Another group of people who have money put themselves in another platform called the NDC. And all they do is that you bring your part of your money. You bring this, you bring this, you bring. They win election. They share the country to themselves and sell the country to themselves. And that is why you see that they have more homes, that people have actually built themselves more than the country. And you go to government ministries, government properties are being sold out to themselves. So government is losing its property, and politicians are gaining the properties of government. And that is a bad precedent for our country. And I tell you, anybody who thinks the NDC and the MPP are there to save them should think again and ask questions. Where are we as a nation? Look at our roads. Look at our hospitals. Look at our schools. Look at our town. Look at our communities. Look at our gutters. And now turn around and look at the houses of these politicians, their cars they drive, the homes they live in, their lifestyle. And you see that we have been duped as a nation, and they have sinned against this country. The NDC and NPP have sinned against this country. And sinners are supposed to be punished. But we don't punish them, we reward them. And that is my problem with the Ghanaian people. And they use money. And I tell you, why will you, a citizen, wants to give job to somebody, and you pay the person to give the job? The person pays you to give him the job. Please, this is the last question I was to ask Ghanaians. You Ghanaians want to give somebody a job, and the person must pay you to give the job to him. Something is wrong. Something is not right.
At the heart of all this is supposed to be a body as well as individuals appointed to be monitoring all this. And we're talking about the Electoral Commission. What should they be doing right that they are currently not doing?
I think that we need to sit down again and then look at our electoral reforms and be able to come up with reforms that will give equal opportunity to all political parties. That would stop monetization of politicians on election days. But that has to be done through the Electoral Commission. And the Electoral Commission must begin to respect structures of electoral processes, including political parties. They have this attitude that I don't like. It's not from Jean Mensa. It's been from way back from 1992 to now, that they are able to classify certain political parties, give them precedence, give them more attention, and give them certain kind of advantages over the other political parties. So the question is, what are these allegations I'm making? We go for election, and the government, the EC says, look, NDC and MPP should be seated here and be given this and be doing this. When there are programs, there's only NDC and MPP invited. When there are EC debates, they want to do a debate for NDC different, for MPP and NDC different. What do they mean by that? They call some political parties bigger parties, some call some political parties. When you are registering a political party, you go through same conditions, for God's sake. When you are paying fees, you pay same. But when it comes to certain addition, then there are disparities. Why? So I think there's a lot to be done, a lot of reforms. One of these reforms I would suggest critically, the issue of second round. I'm suggesting to government and to the EC, let's cancel second round. We shouldn't have what is called a second round after a first round election, and no party gets 50+1. And form a unity government, okay, where instead of spending so much money again, they are already complaining of lack of resources, and going into again a second election, which is going to happen this year, next year's election. No party will get one touch. It's impossible. If a party gets one touch, then Electoral Commission must be in trouble. They didn't organize it very well. There's been malpractices and deficiency there. No party in Ghana will get one touch in 2024 election. If it's going to be one touch, then it will be a third force and not NDC and MPP. So we have a unity government where we say, okay, after first election, if a party is unable to get 50+1, form a unity government. So APC says we have 35%. NDC says we have 35%. That's 70. MPP says we have maybe 30%. And other party says we have 5%. Now, the first two parties must find a way of forming government with the rest of the political parties. That is what is called unity government. So if APC is forming an alliance with NDC to form a government, or APC is forming an alliance with MPP to form government, then the two or even 3 or 4 more parties can form government. This will make every voter and every party important. So that we don't have a situation where somebody says that I'm wasting my vote on APC because they won't win the elections. I'm wasting my vote on CPP because they won't win elections, or any other party, because your vote then counts. And you now have what it takes to manage this country. Now we now stop. Again, it is solving the problem of winner takes it all kind of political campaign, and allowing the APC motto of an all-inclusive governance system, which now gives us the best leadership to manage this country. Because the moment you divide your front, you lose the strength. So as a nation, always we divide our front, so that if MPP is in power, MPP is thinking about MPP members, NDC is in power, NDC thinks about NDC members. But in a situation where we bring all the government, all Ghanaians together and elect the best of them out to serve our country, then we are building a country of ideas, a country of strong men, a country of a strong institution, a country of good policies, a country that where men are given job based on their qualifications, competence level, and not because they are voting for a particular political party, or they voted for their member or card-bearing member of another political party. We have gotten to that state because we have had all these opportunities and it didn't work for us. We've had an opportunity of winner takes it all. It was nothing. We have had an opportunity to NDC and MPP. It's nothing. NDC is nothing. So this time around, the EC must look at the unity government. Oh, no more second round. Let's cancel the issue of second round. And I think the media, you and your other colleagues, should begin to look at a unity government proposal. It should be the next topic of discussion before 2024 election. Whether, based on where we have gotten to and the kind of leadership we have had over the years and the kind of difficulty, challenges we are facing, should there be a unity government? Should we consider a unity government? And President Kufuor, one thing he can do before stepping down is to allow the amendment of a unity government and not a second one policy. And I'll clap hands for him if he's able to do that alone. I will applaud him. That alone will show that his interest of building Mother Ghana and allowing inclusiveness in our governance process is forming a unity government, allowing the formation of a unity government. Because he's the president. He has the executive powers that I will write to him as a candidate. I can write to him, appeal to him, and he, as a president, can send it to Parliament, and Parliament will look into it and will cancel the second round in our election processes. In that, political leaders will now be careful. Because when we form a unity government and you misbehave and we pull our support out, you go back to opposition. So everybody will sit up. And the issue of recycling NDC and NPP will be stopped.
And before we go, you find out that dominating the news over the last couple of weeks has been our current mineral reserves, at least those that we've discovered, lithium, iron, etc., dominating the discussions, the way we just draft the agreement, etc. And then also how well or not we've dealt with galamsey, illegal mining. How worried are you? And how should we be doing some of these things adequately?
The solution is that, what are we benefiting from it? That's the first question. If you're not benefiting 80% of whatever you give out, don't give it out. Don't. That's your mineral. That's your resources. That's your country. So if I'm to give you something out and it doesn't benefit me, I must as well leave it there for the next generation. So, but greedy people, when they look into the future and they know they are going to lose the next election, they begin to draft so many kinds of contracts, unnecessary contracts, just in order to steal for themselves. Why? Why do you draft contracts to the extent that you don't even owe 50% of it? Look at galamsey, for instance. Who are those benefiting from galamsey? Foreign companies, at the expense and destruction of our resources, our lives, our water bodies, our farmlands, cocoa lands, and all that. Think of it. How much are we benefiting from the revenue from galamsey? All these mining companies are here. Look at the calamities they are putting in there. Cyanide, explosive, what do you call dynamite, and all this, destroying all the water bodies, mercury. And at the end of the day, we are going to be experiencing cancer, and our kids are going to be dying slowly. Our pregnant women are going to be having complications. And how much at all are we benefiting? So all these things must be stopped, and finding a better method of mining.
Well, the year has come to a close. So, Dr. Hassan Ayariga, what will be your message? That message you want to tell the watchers of the APC, as well as the ordinary Ghanaian and the great viewers of TV3 and TV3 New Day?
I think that I want to use this opportunity, as Roland has given me, to thank Ghanaians for their patience and to congratulate them for their efforts that they have and trust they have put in themselves and the hope they have in themselves that a future leader is about to emerge. That going forward into the 2024, which is going to be an election year, I pray and I'm asking, this is a request from me to all rich men out there, businessmen out there, politicians out there. The best gift that we can give today to our people, the vulnerable, our society, a nation that takes care of each other, is to go to the hospitals and pay bills for those who cannot afford to pay their hospital bills. This is my plea, and this is my request. Let's all go to the hospitals, the many hospitals. Instead of buying hampers, let's use the money for the hampers and go to the hospitals and be something, because I can't go home because everything in my pocket will finish until I leave that place. There are many out there who are waiting for wanting your support. So let's turn hampers to pay hospital bills for people who are out there. If you are listening and watching, I repeat, let's give them a Christmas gift. The Christmas gift should all go to the hospitals. Thank you very much.
Well, we've had this discussion coming to a close, and thank you very much, Dr. Hassan Ayariga. And well, we'll be having this interaction with Dr. Hassan Ayariga. He was the presidential candidate of the APC in the last general election. And he'll be going around again the next year to canvass for vote again. And we've been looking at his observations about the current state of the economy, generally the current state of elections in Ghana, as well as other pertinent national issues. Well, we hope that you followed the discussion so far. We'll have an upload of this on TV3 Ghana across the rest of social media. Make sure that you keep following us, not only on social media, but also mainstream media as well. But we have to go back to the studio.